Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are completely bypassing the usual guilt trips and taking a look directly under the hood of your brain. We're going to decode the actual biology of focus and task paralysis. We want to strip away all that shame you might feel and really understand exactly how you can hack your own neurology to achieve deep, sustained concentration. So, why is starting a task so incredibly hard? You know exactly what you need to do, you genuinely want to do it, but there's this invisible, stubborn barrier standing right between you and your work. Many experts actually call this the wall of awful. But here's the really cool science behind it. This is absolutely not a moral failing. You aren't just being lazy. You are literally fighting millions of years of evolutionary wiring that is desperately trying to keep you safe and comfortable. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by busting the myth of willpower. Then unpack the neuroscience of procrastination, explore the deep work protocol, reveal the magic of body doubling, and finally look at how you can quite literally biohack your focus. All right, let's jump straight into part one, the myth of willpower. The reason that simply trying harder almost never works is because of a very real biological bottleneck, and that's your working memory. Think of this as your brain's active cognitive workspace. It's where the real-time problem-solving happens. But here is the shocking truth about it. It is strictly limited. It can only hold about 3 to 5 chunks of information for roughly 20 seconds at a time. That is it. So our modern, hyper-connected world of Slack pings, emails, and noisy open-plan offices, it completely overwhelms this tiny biological workspace. The result is total cognitive overload. Your brain simply runs out of RAM. Which leads us to this incredibly liberating realization. As contemporary psychological science shows us, procrastination is a primary failure of emotional self-regulation. It is not a failure of time management. Just let that sink in for a second. Avoiding a task is actually your brain's misguided, totally biological attempt to escape negative emotions like anxiety, frustration, or even just sheer boredom. Your brain perceives that difficult task as a literal threat, and it pushes you toward a distraction just to relieve that immediate stress. Making sense? Great. Let's move to part two, the neuroscience of procrastination. Think of this like a boxing match inside your skull. In the red corner, we have the limbic system. This is the ancient, emotional part of your brain that wants instant gratification and runs as fast as it can away from anything painful or difficult. And in the blue corner, we have the prefrontal cortex. That's your logical, rational planner. It actually cares about your career, your long-term goals, and delayed rewards. When you sit down to try and work, these two go to war. Your limbic system is screaming for the immediate comfort of scrolling social media, while your prefrontal cortex is desperately struggling to execute that complex spreadsheet. Now, your limbic system usually wins this fight, and it's because of a phenomenon called temporal discounting. This is where your brain naturally devalues a reward the further away it is in time. So the long-term payoff of getting a promotion or, finishing a degree 6 months from now, it simply cannot compete with the massive instant dopamine hit you get from watching a funny video right this very second. Your brain is literally hardwired to discount the future. So, how do we fix it? That brings us to part three, the deep work protocol. We have to face a pretty harsh truth here. Multitasking is an absolute myth. It doesn't exist. When you switch from writing a report to, say, quickly checking your email, your attention does not shift cleanly. You experience what's known as attention residue. A part of your brain stays stuck on that unresolved email, creating this open loop that constantly drains your limited working memory. Even a quick 20-second glance at your inbox leaves a thick layer of cognitive residue that seriously handicaps your performance. And the real-world cost of that residue? It's staggering. 23 minutes and 15 seconds. According to workplace research out of UC Irvine, that is exactly how long it takes your brain to fully recover its deep focus after just one single interruption. Think about that. One ping on your phone doesn't just cost you the 30 seconds it takes to check it, it potentially costs you half of your working hour as your brain painfully struggles to re-enter a state of flow. To protect yourself from this trap, you've got to build deep work strategies. This means actively scheduling your offline time and minimizing your extraneous cognitive load by turning off all those notifications and clearing out visual clutter. You also kind of have to embrace boredom. Stop reaching for your phone every single time you wait in line. You're literally training your attention span when you do that. You also need a strict shutdown complete ritual at the end of the workday. By structuring your environment this way, you protect that precious working memory. And the beautiful part? This sustained focus allows your brain to wrap active neural circuits in myelin. That's an insulating sheath that literally rewires your brain for faster, higher-level expertise.
Let's shift gears a bit for part 4, the magic of body doubling.
You might be wondering, why does just having someone else in the room help you get work done? Well, first, your brain's mirror neurons see another person in a state of calm focus. That triggers your own parasympathetic nervous system to calm down, pulling you right out of that fight or flight stress response. Second, having someone there introduces a subtle social novelty, which sparks a mild dopamine release, giving you just enough activation energy to get started. Finally, it provides neutral, external accountability. A silent partner offers a rope to climb right over that wall of awful without triggering your own internal shame spirals. But to do it right, you really need structure. Enter the CAR method. Step 1 is commit. You must verbally declare your specific task out loud to activate that prefrontal cortex. Step 2 is action. You work in absolute silence, whether you're in person or on a Zoom call with cameras on. The visibility is key here, but the silence is strictly required so you don't accidentally break your focus. And step 3 is review. When the timer goes off, you check in and celebrate the win. This closes the habit loop and gives you a natural dopamine hit. This framework ensures your body doubling session actually works and doesn't just evolve into a chatty, distracting hangout. Finally, let's get into the physical stuff in part 5, biohacking your focus. One truly fascinating auditory intervention we can use is binaural beats. This is an incredible auditory illusion created when you play a slightly different sound frequency in each ear. So, say 400 hertz in the left ear and 410 in the right. Your brain actually bridges the gap and perceives a phantom third pulse of 10 hertz. This is based on the brainwave entrainment hypothesis, where rhythmic external stimulation can literally nudge your brain's electrical activity into desired states, like the alpha state for relaxed learning or the beta state for active analytical focus. But honestly, there is a catch. Standard binaural beats, like the ones you just find randomly on YouTube, rely on a perceptual illusion. They require headphones, and they produce a weak, highly inconsistent effect. By contrast, advanced functional audio uses something called neural phase locking. This is audio where amplitude modulations are directly engineered right into the music. It works on regular speakers, and research shows it creates much stronger, more robust neural synchronization. Think of it this way. Standard internet beats are a sledgehammer, but engineered neural phase locking is a precise scalpel for your brain's focus. Now, what about what we consume? Doctors and researchers highly recommend a specific, very accessible nootropic stack. It's a simple 2-to-1 ratio of L-theanine to caffeine. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors, so you don't feel drowsy, but as we all know, it can make you jittery and anxious. L-theanine, which is an amino acid naturally found in green tea, increases GABA and alpha brainwaves. That promotes relaxation without sedation. When you combine them in this exact 2-to-1 ratio, say 200 milligrams of theanine to 100 milligrams of caffeine, they work synergistically. You get clean, calm, laser-sharp alertness, completely neutralizing the anxiety and that dreaded afternoon crash. So, as we wrap up this explainer, here is the big question I want to leave you with today. What will you build when you stop fighting your own biology and start engineering your focus? Remember, you are not broken. You do not lack willpower. You simply have a human brain operating in a highly distracting digital world. But now, you've got the toolkit. You know how to protect your working memory with deep work, how to regulate your nervous system with body doubling, and how to biologically prime your brainwaves and chemistry. Take just one of these tools, apply it today, and watch how quickly you can climb right over that wall of awful. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I absolutely can't wait to see what you accomplish.